making telescopes in the last 400 or 500 years. So we have a lot more way to improve. But right now, we think about telescopes in many different ways. One way to think about the telescope is it takes light and concentrates it so you get a lot of light and put it into one small spot. And then you can look at things clearly, especially when light comes from so far away. There's very few light particles called photons to come to see. So you need to gather a lot of light. But we also know that light is not just what we can see. It's radiomagnetic radiation, electromagnetic radiation, and this electromagnetic radiation it is also X-rays and gamma rays, the whole full spectrum of light, but not all that we can see. So we actually have telescopes for things that we can't see that helps us see farther. For example, we have a telescope called Chandra. Chandra, named after Chandra Shekhar, a famous Indian mathematician. So Chandra and physicist, and the Chandra space telescopes looked at things in X-rays, and we can see things that are happening a long time ago, very far away. How black holes are. You can only see black holes with X-rays, but uh, so you can see that to make telescopes better, we need to go away from the Earth's surface because there's too much air, too much atmosphere in the way, and we make big space telescopes. And recently, in the United States, along with our partners in the European Space Agency, and I think Canada and a few other countries, we put together this James Webb Space Telescope, and it sees things in infrared light, but it's given us some really good views of the universe. And the nice thing is that to be an astronomer, you can be you anybody can be an astronomer. You don't have to be you don't have to know somebody. You don't have to. You can, if that's what you want to be, then being astronomer is great. You don't even have to like cold weather. You don't even have to go to space. You can do a lot of astronomy work on your computer from a laboratory. So it's a fun job, and maybe someday I can be change my job to be astronomer. Huh.
Thank you so much. This is the next question. After that, we will give live question because students are here. This question is from Kabir Borwa, Auckland, New Zealand. He is 10 years old. He has two questions. First one is, how are toilets designed in the space? And second one is, how do astronauts exercise in space?
Gotcha. Okay, so toilets. All right, everybody is uncomfortable to talk about toilets, but I think everybody every day needs a toilet. Mm. So this is a very important thing in on the planet Earth. We are very lucky to have gravity, and we use gravity in the making of our toilets. We have Eastern style, Western style, Asian style toilets, but they all need the gravity for everything to go down, and then it goes away, hopefully. In space, we don't have a gravity, so we actually have a machine. It's similar to like a vacuum cleaner, and so it helps pull everything down. We separate the liquid waste, pee, and the solid waste, poop. We separate them. The urine, the number one, the pee, we recycle it. We take all the water out of it. And the number two, the poop, we seal it up and we throw it away. In future space colonies, we won't be able to do that. We need to be able to recycle all of our waste and use it again, like for fertilizer or something. But we have to be safe and smart about it. Exercise. Oh, I wish my wife Renita were able to come this morning. She's a NASA engineer. She's a beautiful Assamese princess. I think that's a nice thing about the Assamese ladies. Everybody is dunia. Huh? So I would just like to say that she's also a very smart NASA engineer, and her job was one of her jobs at NASA was to help make exercise equipment. So exercise is important to all of us, especially in space. In space, we don't exercise our bones, like on Earth, we walk all the time. Every time we walk, we exercise our bones. In space, we fly around and our bones don't do anything. So our bones need to be exercised and stimulated to continue bone growth in a natural process. So we have a treadmill, we run on a treadmill, but we have to have a harness to keep us down. We can try to lift weights, but everything's weightless. So I can lift 1,000 kilos with one hand, but that doesn't give me any good exercise. So we actually have a resistive exercise device that makes it feel like we are fighting and working hard. And then finally, we have some kind of like a bicycle, and and we keep our cardiovascular health going. But it's a big question too as we go to the moon and Mars. What kind of exercise machines do we need? What can we afford in terms of we don't have a lot of room on our spaceships? Can we make them small, compact? And my wife is working on those kind of things every day at work. So I think we like to think that we make a good NASA team.
Thank you, Mike. There are one little girl. She's waiting for her question. Navya, can you say your question, please? Open your mic.
What do you like as being an astronaut?
I'm sorry, could you say just one more time, please?
What do you like being an astronaut?
Oh, what do I like being an astronaut? Well, I like many things about being astronaut. When I'm in space, I like to float and fly. It's very fun. I feel like I'm Iron Man and I can fly anywhere I want. I also like to look outside and see the beautiful planet Earth. I used to think Mars was my favorite planet. Now Earth is my favorite planet. And finally, I like to help other people. And we work aboard the space station, the International Space Station. We work off of the Earth to make life better on the Earth. So we say we work off the Earth for the Earth. And so I like to do the science experiments, and I like to try to make the whole planet to be better because we need a lot of help.
Thank you. Anybody? Isabel is there? Isabel? Isabel wanted to ask a question. Srimanta?
Arunai,
Srimanta?
Arunai,
শুনা নাই মাইক্ৰফোনটো অন কৰি ল'ব লাগিব anybody wants to ask question please message me here in the right side so that I will keep you in the loop okay Anuran Bhushan Das Nior from UK তুমি মাইক্ৰফোনটো অন কৰা তোমাৰ ৰবা you have to repeat it তোমাৰ ভলিউমটো অহা নাই
It's on the International Space Station.
No, it's breaking. It's breaking. I don't know. Can you write the question in the side?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anuran was our student. He got a scholarship.
He got an Munindra and Dr. Bora scholarship.
Fluently, he can speak Assamese fluently now. He's so proud of him.
Okay. Anurane likhise. Okay.
Anuran, yes, sorry, we could not hear you, but we do want to answer your question. And congratulations on scholarship.
Anuran, are you writing the question? Okay, before that, I can see Isabel from Germany. How old were you when you went to the space for the first time?
And hello, Isabel of Deutschland. Guten Tag.
Isabel ক'ত গ'ল চেহেৰাটো দেখাই দিবা দেখা নাই
So, how old was I when I went to space for the first time? So, I became astronaut when I was 29 years old, and that was actually a little bit early. But my mission was to help build the International Space Station. And I got hired as an astronaut very early in my career because I could speak other languages. For example, we were building International Space Station with Russians, and I can speak Russian language. Some of our partners are from Japan. I speak Japanese language. So knowing these other languages is important. That's why it's important to study. I waited 8 years to go on my first space mission. So I was about 37 on my first space mission. And then I flew pretty quickly afterwards. Then I was 41 and then like 43. And now I'm waiting for my next mission, and I will fly hopefully next year. So if I am not here next year for this video conference, please excuse me. I have a good excuse.
Yeah, ask.
So অনুৰণৰ এতিয়া কুৱেশ্যনটো মই পঢ়ি দিছোঁ একচুৱেলি অৰ্জুনৰ কুৱেশ্যনটো মই সুধিলোঁ অলৰেডি চ' অনুৰণ তোমাৰ কুৱেশ্যনটো
What's the question, Arjun?
পঢ়ি দিছোঁ
She asked about a telescope on drive.
So it looks like Anuran's question is on the chat, and it says, in space, what sort of fuels are used to power the International Space Station?